Hey guys, so the title of the video. I'm gonna be talking about my creepy landlord. From the events I remember off the top of my head, but also got literally one comment asking me to do my makeup, so I'm gonna be doing that as well. At the same time. Okay, I have two concealers. They're both Maybelline. One's in a shade 6, one's in a 5, and I use the lighter one on my under eyes, and then I use the darker one on like my skin problems. Also, I've been getting these like random dry patches of skin, which is not the vibe, so I changed my moisturizer because I've literally never had that before, and I don't know, hopefully it works, but that isn't actually like a spot, it's literally just like a dry patch, and it's like actually really upsetting. Also, I did it wrong. I accidentally used the lighter one instead of the dark one. We're not going to talk about that. I normally do my makeup on the floor, in front of my like long mirror, so it's a bit different for me, but whatever. Okay, basically met this guy about a year ago now when I moved into here, and I was struggling to move my stuff because could not afford a moving van, and also and I just had so much stuff. So what we were doing is my friend and I were going on the bus back and forth with like a bunch of bags and moving it that way, and it was extremely slow. So I met this guy, got the house. There was a 1-day turnover, so the house was a mess. He hadn't bothered to clean up. He just like done some of the rooms, but he acted so like, oh, I'm cleaning the rooms for you guys, and we were like, wow, you're doing literally the bare minimum, and actually lower than the bare minimum. And then I was telling him my troubles, how I was moving my stuff, and he was like, oh my god, let me give me a lift to your house. I was like, no way, thank you so much. So I was in his car. He was like, oh my god, I've never done this for any of my tenants ever, and I've been doing this like 25 years. And I was like, wow, guess I'm really special. And then he is asking me loads of questions about me, my family, my degree, my hobbies, literally everything. It was like a fucking Q&A. And he, oh my god, I look like a ghost right now. And he also asked me, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, no. And then we moved on. It was a bit weird, and I remember telling my friends about it, and they were like, the friends who I live with, and they were like, don't like that, I don't like that. So yeah, Landlord's a bit of a weirdo from the forefront. We come back, we have like a little house meeting. He's like talking about the house, whatever, and he's like, oh, I just feel like you guys' dad right now. And we're like, no, only you're thinking that. We're just thinking of the landlord, and we kind of just want you to leave. So he goes, and by the way, he's like picking up my stuff, and on the way he was like, I was like, oh, I have a lot of clothes, by the way, and he goes, oh, it's okay, like I understand women, like I have like 3 stepdaughters or something and a wife. And I was like, slay. And then we get there, and then he's being all rude. He's like, why do you have so much stuff? And I'm like, I did fucking warn you, bitch. But also, like, as I can organise, it didn't pack till like the very last minute, so everything was kind of everywhere. It wasn't really system, I was just like, I need to get out and go, you know what I mean? Anyway, next part, I use the Lancome loose powder. This stuff is so good. It literally like blurs your skin. It's amazing. Lighting's terrible because I decided to film a little bit too late. It's 5 p.m. I was gonna film like 3 hours ago when the sun was up and shining, but no, now it's gone all grey. So yay. Anyway, so I put that in there. Put that in a little pot that it comes with, and then obviously use the little puff powder thing to do it. And I'm using my iPad as a mirror because, well, like I said, I normally do it in front of a mirror, but I don't have it because I'm doing it on my bed. Okay, so, next, this guy comes round like 5 out of 7 days a week. He's always here doing quote-unquote maintenance work, which like was not needing to be done. He's doing this like random shitty painting and this random like just like going around like cleaning things. He would just like clean but be like, oh, it's essential, guys. And it would literally be like he'd like do the bins. And we're kind of like, can this man go away? One thing I noticed was that he seemed to be favouring me a little bit. So basically, we had this little ant problem in our house and we were kind of like, what the hell? So I phoned him. I'm like, hey, like, we've got ants in our house. Like, can you sort it? Because like, what the hell? We had just moved in. We did not want ants in our house. And he starts yapping to me for like, I'm not even kidding, like 30 minutes about how we live in a world full of animals and like it's normal and natural. And then he's like, Anna, like, you seem like a cool person. Like, you're a cool person. Like, you get it. You like understand everything. He starts talking about literally nothing. And he's like, yeah, my philosophy as a 50-year-old, he's 50 by the way, well he's now 51, is that it's just to have fun and chill out. And we're like, okay, but like, can you sort the ants too? Have fun when there's no ants, you know what I mean? I want the ants to be outside, not like in the house. And he's like, gonna buy some ant cleaner, and we're like, okay, what the fuck? Whatever, we sort it out ourselves, it's whatever. By the way, I'm using Benefit pomade in like the darkest brown shade. Actually, it's in the shade 5, warm black brown. Anyway, he is pretty shit for that. Another thing was that around the same time, the smell was just too friendly basically. I like quote unquote broke the blinds. I didn't actually break them, I just thought I did. Well, I did break them, but I phoned him like, oh my god, the blinds are broken. And he goes, oh my god, I'm coming right away. I'm coming right now. And then, in like 20 minutes I fixed it because I was just like messing around with it, and then I figured out how it works, and then I fixed it. And then he goes, calling back, I'm like, hey, like, I managed to fix the blinds, but like, so you don't need to come around for that, but like, can you come around for like the ants? And he was like, no. Alright, I'm gonna go now. But one thing about that was when he was on the phone to me, he was like, who else in the house? And the original phone call, I was like, oh, I don't know, like, I think it's just me. And he's like, I'm coming. And when I phoned him and I'm like, oh, my friend's back, by the way, he's like, oh, okay, I'm leaving. Suspicious, but whatever, we'll move on. I'm using this clear eyebrow gel. You can get this in Russia or Belarus, whatever, it's not English. It's the equivalent of like £1. Yeah, it's like really, really good as well. It's just like you can't get it in the UK, which is a little bit difficult, but whatever. Okay, eyebrows are so done. Also, my makeup only takes me like 15 minutes, but this isn't really a 15-minute story, but I'll try and like hurry it up. It's ongoing, by the way. Another thing is my drawer kept breaking. And this drawer was put together like the cheapest way possible. I've lived in like a few places. I put my clothes in a few places, and this drawer was just like a piece of like cardboard. I can't explain it. So I would put my stuff there, which was only tank tops, very, very light, and it would break. And then he had the audacity to accuse me that the reason why it broke is because I have too many clothes. And I was like, no, my guy, I put in like 5 tank tops and it broke. And I could put books in there if I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Like a tank top literally weighs like 20 grams. Like, okay, maybe more, but still, I was like, no, this is your fault, my guy. You fixed this. You fixed it. It breaks again immediately because all he did was like just like glue the cardboard bit back on again. But I was like, you know what? I don't want this man in my room anymore. Like, I didn't care. Like, I can handle a broken drawer. one thing he did was he bought me a new drawer. He buys this set of drawers and he puts it like outside, like in landing. He's like, this is Anna's drawer, only Anna can use it, but it's weird because it's in with the rest of the house, like it's not in my room. So I felt weird using the whole thing. I was like, oh, I'll just have one of the drawers. He's like, no, it's your drawer, like only you can use it. I'm like, okay. I look, still haven't used the whole thing. I've only used one of the drawers. And then I don't remember why, but he wanted to like come into my room. I don't remember why. He randomly wanted to come into my room for something. And I just remember saying to my friend, like, hey, like, I've got loads of underwear and like my underwear drawer and my sock drawer and that, and I'm probably just being paranoid, but like, do you think you can go in there? Because I was at home, I think, or something. I was visiting home, I couldn't do it. I was like, could you please just take all my underwear out and like hide it or something, put it in a bag and hide it? And she was like, sure. One of my friends who I live with, and guess what, this man tried to go through that drawer. She witnessed him like open the drawer and try and go through it, and then she was like, no, like, let me do it. She had to like take stuff out of it, I don't even know. And apparently he's like, why does she have so many socks? I'm like, it's because my guy, I take all the underwear out. But I also had all my bras in as well. I also had to take those out too. I love how I'm not explaining what I'm doing. Basically, this eyeshadow palette's by Lancome. I use a lot of Lancome. Darkest brown shade. I got it on top of my eye and then underneath. He's basically, from that point on, he's always phoning, always calling. I'm like creeped out because I'm like, this guy's here just so often. He'll come around for literally no reason. And one other thing, our washing machine broke. Like, it started leaking like all the times we wanted a new washing machine, but then he replaced it with obviously the cheapest one he could fucking find, and that one started like burning our clothes. Like, it wouldn't, if you put on any setting, it would get extremely hot and it wouldn't dry. Your clothes would still be wet, but they'll be boiling and they'll be ruined. Like, they would be like incredibly shrunk or torn or anything. And we were like, hey, like, the washing machine's broken. He comes round and he puts one tea towel in, puts on for a load, and he goes, it's not broken because the tea towel dried. And I'm like, maybe if you put in one tea towel, but unfortunately we can't be putting in one tea towel at a time. We gotta do all our loads at once. We figured out, like, if we do it like 20 degrees for like 6 hours, it works. It's pretty annoying, but like, he refused to change it, so whatever. And then I'm definitely missing some stories and points, but from what I remember, that was like the main events of last year. Nothing too terrible. He just really wants to come into my room. He really likes me for some reason. He keeps like being like, Annie, you're so cool. Oh my god, you're so cool. I remember one thing, he was talking about my degree and he was like, my philosophy, he's like, not to undermine your degree. I don't remember if he said that to me or my friend. But we were like, thank you so much. Also, he admitted himself he doesn't have a degree, but it's because he's stupid, and he never wanted to do one, and he found out that being a landlord was like really going really good, and you could get a lot of money from being a landlord. So basically his job is to just like charge people for money. Love a landlord. Anyway, he kind of left me alone at that point. He would just message me about rent and things like that. Fast forward a year later, because we'd re-signed a contract for this house. We wanted to move, but we only had like 2 weeks to find a new house, and everything was so expensive, and we were like, it is close to the uni, so whatever. And this is why he starts just like, I don't know why he's acting like this, but he's acting insane. I might have forgotten some stories from last year, but again, it was like a year ago. Anyway, one time I woke up to my phone ringing. It woke me up. It was my Apple Watch ringing, and somehow, out of the worst luck ever, I literally like moved my Apple Watch and it accepted the call to him. By the way, this man phones pretty often, but whenever he phones, I just like don't pick up the call because he talks for like 30 minutes every time, and he will talk and yap about literally nothing, and I'm like, can you just get to the point? Just get to the point, please. Anyway, this is the eyeliner I'm using. It's Lancome. Again, it's running out. I need to buy a new one. I just can't afford it at the moment. But for now, you just kind of have to like shove it on your eyes. Do a normal wing and then do it like that. Yeah, literally just do. I don't know how to explain. Just do a normal wing. But what I also like to do is go under my eye, but I go underneath the lash line, so there's like a little gap, and that little gap I feel like really suits my eyes. I don't know. Anyway, I accidentally accept the phone call to this man, and he's like, hello Anna, and I'm like literally half asleep, no idea what was going on. I was like, fuck, I end the call. And the thing is, I actually was extremely poor at this time, so I was okay, like, you know what, I'm gonna plug up the courage. I'm gonna ask him if I can split up my rent payment, because normally you pay like every 3 months, but I was like, can I pay every month instead and split it up? And this phone call I had with him was like the most disturbing phone call I've had in most disturbing phone call was given me like in general. He phones and he's like just asking me loads of questions, and I can't, it was like the creepiest thing ever, because he was in like the most giddy jolly mood, laughing at everything I said so intensely, and kept being like, oh my god, you're so funny. And I thought he'd phone me literally just to like have a chat, because this man was not getting to the point. So I start asking him about if I can like split up my rent, and he's like kind of annoyed about it, but he's also like, you know, I'm a nice person. I don't do this for just anyone. I do this for the people I like. So yeah, we can get sorted. But he goes, don't tell any of the others in the house, because, you know, I don't want them to be asking me this as well. Which I think is quite funny. I didn't ask him like another thing. I don't remember. I was like talking about how, I don't know, I needed something. It was rent business, and he goes, actually, I did call you for something, so if you could just like give me a chance, like tell you. I'm like, he just snapped at me like out of nowhere, and I was literally like, well, get to the point, because you're my landlord. Like, I'm not here to be your friend. You're the reason I'm poor, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. Okay, we're doing the other eye now, as you can see. So he starts like talking about, like, he's asking me all these like weird questions, and one thing he says is, he's like, so what do you do in your spare time? And I'm like, well, I go on my walks in philosophy. He goes, you're a fashion girl, you're a philosophy girl, what else do you do? And I talk about how I love to go on walks. He's like, do you go to the gym? I was like, not anymore, because I can't afford a gym membership, lol. And he was like, here's my little task to you. Why don't you go walk to the gym and then walk around the gym, and then that's like going to be like a little bit of exercise? And I went, no, because I'm not doing that. And he goes, no. And I was like, yeah, no, what the hell? And then basically, you know that lift he gave me a year ago? He goes, remember that lift I gave you? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, I don't do that for just anyone. I only do that for people I really like. And I really like you, so that is why I'm letting you do this rent thing, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. Thank you so much for that. He's mentioning this drawer again, which he got me, and he's like, have you been using the drawer? I'm like, well, I don't want to use the drawer if it's in the house and there are other people in the house and they're also using the drawer, because I feel like it's just like, it's taking up space in the house. It's kind of crazy if only I use it. I feel like it should be like a communal drawer. And he was like, no, I only got it for you. Like, only you're allowed to use it. And I was like, okay, thank you so much, I guess. This happened like 3 months ago now. I think he tells me how he tried to get into my room, but he couldn't open the door. This was while I was at home. I visited home for a little bit. And I literally was like, oh. he was complaining how he couldn't get in, and I was like, that's because, well, I kind of put stuff in front of the door because I don't want people coming in my room. By the time I come back, my room had been cleaned, so I was like, oh, it's clean now, it's fine now, like, whatever. I'm looking at my face and I'm like, did I do my concealer well? Not really, but we move. He's like, oh, well, you need to clean it. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, I have cleaned it, so literally go away. Also, it's like none of your business. Like, turns out it actually doesn't matter if your room is messy or not. It's actually none of the landlord's business, fun fact. And then I was kind of talking about how, like, I've got this clothing rack in my room. I was speaking about the clothing rack. I was like, that's why you can open it, put the clothing rack there. He starts going off. He's like, because basically my friend gave it to me, he also lives here, and he was like, why is he giving you that? Like, sorry, like, he's not allowed to do that. And I was like, what? I was like, he was going off about literally nothing. And then I was kind of like, oh, it's literally just a clothing rack. I could just hang up my jackets. Like, trust, like, it helps me a lot. And he was like, oh, I thought you were talking about a drying rack. And I was like, no, this man is dumb. I don't know why he went off on that. And then the bit which kind of made my stomach turn was he goes, Anna, I've got 3 questions for you. And I'm like, okay. He goes, they're pretty personal questions. I'm like, okay. And he's like, first of all, what are you studying or some bullshit like that? Something he already knows. I was like, philosophy. He goes, second one, this one's pretty personal. Do you have a bloke? Do you have a boyfriend? I'm like, no. And I should have said yes. Like, why didn't I say yes? But I literally was just like in the moment, like, what the fuck? Then the third question was something irrelevant as well. I don't even remember. It was like, it's my family coming to visit. I don't even know. And then also, do you know what's funny is this eyelash colour is also Lancome. Used to belong to, oh, what is that? Used to belong to my mum, but I stole it. And that mascara I used, also Lancome. It's not even on purpose. They're just like a really, really good brand, and they do really good quality makeup. So, yeah. I feel the lighting's pretty terrible, but we move on. Okay, and then basically, phone call ends. I'm distressed as hell because, fun fact, like the night before, I literally had like an incredibly disturbing experience with a man that actually like made me like my stomach churn to my core. So, and then I had a fucking nightmare that was like to do with that. So I woke up to that and I was just feeling like so like unsafe. Basically, I was like, actually fuck this. And then I like kind of went down to my friends and I was like, listen, I just had a really creepy phone call with the landlord, and they were like, what the hell? Because we thought all of his weird bullshit was done, but that was like, I don't even know, maybe he realises we've only got a year left and he needs to rack up with the flirting, and then I don't even know. He's always fucking phoning and texting, whatever, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to ignore him. My friends were like, do not, whatever you do not be in the house when he's here. I was like, perf. Also, I'm using this collection cheek lip stain. It's so freaking good, bro. I was like, perfect, because I literally don't want to. So one time, he comes around again. It's only my friend in the house. She's very uncomfortable by him because she knows all of the details in the tea. He's being kind of weird to her and chatty, whatever, and we're like, oh, lonely old man, I guess. I don't know. He keeps being like, where's Anna? Is Anna in? Like, and he was talking about how he thinks I'm like a really nice person, and how he goes and looks in the drawer, realizes I haven't been using the drawer, and he's like, oh my god, why isn't she been? Can you make her use the drawer? This man really wants me to use his fucking drawer. Anyway, Laura Mercier highlighter palette. Got this for my I was gonna say 14th birthday. No, I got this when I was 14 at Christmas. I've completely used up the gold ones, so we're using the pink one simply because look how nice that is. using the pink one simply because I ran out of the gold one. And he goes like, oh, he's just being super weird to her. One thing is he tells her he's got this new fridge for the house. And he like drafts a message for her to write, like where she's written it, but he tells what to write, and it was like, "You're amazing, lovely landlord. Has got you a new fridge," and we're like, "Wow, thank you." He got it for free on Facebook Marketplace. He's come to switch out the fridge. So he says he's gonna come around, and he literally goes like insane on the group chat that I might even pull up my phone to get the details. Oh god, I'm looking back, I'm now remembering things. He came around so many freaking times to like look at the communal areas for the painting, and basically was like, you need to clean that, you need to clean that, and our house was literally clean. Like it was a lived-in house, don't get me wrong, there would be like 2 pounds on the side, but it was clean. I'm like, we're not deep cleaning our house for painter, which is coming in a week, but whatever. But like, we'll clean the day before or whatever, and he would, God, he talked about all the maintenance he'd do, but the maintenance would be just like cleaning. He'd just like vacuum and like change the bins, but like just stuff we'd do anyway. Okay, I'm at the point now where talking about the gift of the fridge, which by the way I don't get to use. It's 2 girls in our house get to use it. I don't get to use it. Lol. He wanted to come around, bring the fridge, get rid of the old one. I'm out the house. I'm gone. And he's asking someone to like help carrying it. And it was like, it's like, well no, we aren't, you're gonna take money off our rent? Like, are we insured to help you carry this fridge? Like, we don't want this free fridge. Like, we don't care. Like, the other fridge works fine. And I'm out all day. I'm literally hiding from this man because he's so creepy. He's the type to like hold you hostage, if you know what I mean. Like the type to just keep like yapping at you, and you're like, oh my god. So I went out. I went on a walk, and then I was like hiding in like a field because basically I was paranoid that his car would see me. So I was hiding out in like a field. So I was texting my friend like, can I please come around to yours? I was supposed to meet at hers. So my friend let me come around to her house. And he's texting like so weird. Like he was sending photos. Oh my god. Yeah, he was sending photos to the group chat of just like everything he was doing in the day. He was talking about picking up his daughter. He sent a photo of his dog. He sent a photo of him being at Sainsbury's. He sends like a weird selfie of him with the fridge. And we're just like, okay, we don't care. And one thing he did was he kept going, I kept basically saying, he texted me, Anna, are you free later? Anna, are you free later? I lied to him. I was like, oh, sorry, I'm visiting my friend who I haven't seen in a while. I was visiting my friend, but I'd literally seen her the day before. And I was basically trying to tell him, like, hey, like, you don't need to come back. He needs to come back to test the vacuum cleaner. He didn't need to test the vacuum cleaner. And basically, apparently, my friend came back. He was out there. He, like, came out of nowhere. He was like, do you want to help me do the fridge? By the way, this man had been hiding at our house for like 8 hours at this point. Just going around and everything. And he's like, no. So whatever. His like wife helps him do the fridge, but apparently him and his wife like arguing, and it was like really, really awkward. And then he came back to my friend and was like, lol, just a couple of things. We love each other really. And he's like, okay, he didn't ask. I'm worrying this isn't making any sense. I should have really written down what I was going to say before I started talking, but we're here now, so... Oh, God, the amount this guy texts is insane. Basically, he came back, and what happened was there was a rat. There was a rat outside in the shed, which apparently just visits all the houses, and he spotted it and was like, it's your responsibility to clean it, so he cleaned out the shed. He left. He comes back again. He just comes up with excuses to come around. I can't even explain it. Basically, this man brings his godson round to help him collect the other fridge. And I am like, you know what, if I stay in my room and don't do anything, this man won't come, he'll leave me alone. Was what I was thinking. Anyway, he comes around, this is what this man does every time he comes around. He comes around, he knocks on all the doors, he opens all the doors, and he's like, hello, hello, and he'll charge in. And I thought, you know, you're not allowed to do that if you're a landlord, you're not allowed to go into people's rooms without 24-hour consent. But no, also this is Revlon Rumberry, it's so good. But no, I'm chilling, pretending to be asleep. He opens my door, he's like, Anna, hello, come see my godson. And I'm like, what the actual fuck, this 50-year-old man is in my room. And I'm like, oh, I'm asleep. And he's like, Anna, come downstairs and see my godson. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, fine, I'll see your freaking godson. I go downstairs, he's giving me the whole rundown, asking me way too many questions, blah 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 blah. One thing is I tell him about my new job. Yeah, because he asked about my new job, and I was like, oh, it's like waitress / bartender. And he was like, oh, like my godson's looking for a job like that. Why don't you go out, speak to him, and give him some advice on finding a job? And I was like, okay, whatever. He introduces me to his godson. He's like, oh my god, this guy's doing physics at uni. You're going to be doing physics. You're doing philosophy. You're both so smart. You have so much in common. And then I was like, okay, whatever. Also, this jumper's supposed to be off the shoulder. It's actually a dress. I'll show it. I'm gonna show the dress. Let me show. OMG. It's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cute. I got it from like a vintage shop yesterday. Which is crazy because I haven't bought myself any clothes in like 2 or 3 months. So I'm like really, really excited about this. Anyway, I'm done with my makeup though. This is the close up. Wow. So at this point, I come downstairs speaking to his godson. His godson is like, I'm like, how are you looking for a job? He's like, oh, I've just been asking friends and family. I'm like, okay, well, that's why I didn't have a job, my guy. I told him the best way to get a job really quickly is to print out your CVs and literally just go around to all the places handing your CV and be like, hi, I'm looking for a job. Hire me, because that just shows like, first of all, they got your CV firsthand. Second of all, it means you have, you know, you're showing commitment by showing up, you know what I mean? So like that's how I got my job. I didn't work there anymore, work at a different job. I quit to get a different job, but like also I got like literally like 10 job offers, which is crazy. I was asking, he was talking about his A-levels, whatever. He wants to be a bartender, but temporarily for a month. But he's also never been a bartender before. I was like, okay, like no one's gonna take you on for a month. Like I'm not gonna lie, like if you tell them you're gonna quit in a month, they're not gonna bother training you. I can't lie. They'd rather just have someone to stay on. He was like, oh. I was like, what you can do is take the job and then just quit after a month. And he was like, oh, like that's too dishonest. And I was like, okay, my guy, whatever you want. Like this guy was like not in reality. I was like, I'm sorry, like these corporations, like they just need workers. Like if you quit, they're just going to replace you at the end of the day. His godson, actually super nice and polite guy, like very sweet guy. Anyway, I come in, talk to the freaking landlord, and he's like, he said this really rude thing where he was like, he's so organized, like he did so good in his A-levels, like you guys should like go out for drinks together and like he can teach you about being organized. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, excuse me, first of all, you don't know me at all. Like I actually am organized. I'm just like a messy person. Like my room is slightly messy, sorry. Clothes on the floor. Get over it. He was like, really? Like, what about your Depop? Like, how's that going? I'm like, it's going good, thank you. Literally none of your business, but I don't even know. I sell on Depop and Vinted, but only like to get rid of my old clothes. I keep saying to him like it's doing amazing. Like in reality, it's like incredibly mid. He was like, okay. Got annoyed when I said that. But that pissed me off so much because I'm like, this fucking godson is literally 18, just finished uni. He's never lived on his own. He can't find himself a job. You've asked me to give him advice on finding a job. And then you proceed to tell me I need tips from him on how to be organised. When you've just asked me to give him advice on finding a job. Like, make it make sense. Like, what do you mean? And, like, one thing which pissed me off as well is he messaged, like, can you pay your rent? Like, your rent installment is due today. And I'd already paid it. And I was like, I've already sent you the money. And he was like, oh, okay, I just checked you have, thank you. And I'm like, so you just assumed I haven't paid it? Like, I literally paid it at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Not because I woke up at 7 a.m. because I was awake till 7 a.m. But I was like, oh my god, I should send it now. And then it looks like I'm awake at 7 a.m. But this man doesn't appreciate me, basically. No, this man just, like, assumes I'm dumb. He comes around, like, 3 other times to, like, check for the painting, whatever. One time, my friend is around here. It's me and my friend. And I literally hid out in her room because I was so scared of talking to this man because he's just so rude. Like, he's rude and also weird. He'll always make a weird, creepy comment. And then I heard him try and go in my room. And she goes, don't go in her room. And he's like, you should try going in her room. You can't even get in or whatever it is. You should look at it. And she goes, well, I don't go into people's rooms. And he started, like, complaining, being rude, whatever. Anyway, the painter comes. I literally don't pee the whole day to avoid him. He was here for 10 hours. He was at 8 a.m. he left at 6. And then I heard him have a conversation with my friend outside. I was listening. He goes to him, the landlord goes to my friend. He's like, can I catch you to talk about some of the jobs which are happening? And he's like, sorry, I have to go to work. I have work in like 30 minutes. And he's like, oh, okay. Talk at him anyway. And then he goes like, oh, like, you're here for Wednesday as well? He didn't tell us. And he was like, Wednesday and Thursday. And he was like, oh. And he starts shouting at him. He's like, I'm the manager of this job. I know what I'm doing. And then, he goes, it would be nice if we had some notice. In like the politest tone. I'm not kidding. The politest tone. And he goes, I'm not in the mood for this. I'm not in the mood for this. Sorry. I'm like, isn't that like legally you have to give it? Like, this man cannot take any accountability. Sorry. And then he sends him a text. He showed me the text of him being like, being a landlord is hard, okay? Being a landlord's not easy. I'm like, what do you mean it's the easiest job in the world? You don't have to do anything and you'll get paid. Like, what the hell? Bro, and this painter came around and I heard him have a conversation with him and he goes, do you want any coffee? And he goes, yeah, can I have a flat white? He goes, do you take it with like milk or anything? And the guy goes, it's a flat white, it already has milk. So this guy is dumb, basically, which is probably the reason why he acts like the way he does, because he keeps being like, I'm such a nice guy, do you think I'm a nice guy? And we're like, no. This guy's actually nasty as hell. He's also insane. He phones all the time. He's constantly phoning, constantly on the phone. But I don't pick up any of the calls, and I finally sent him a text like, can you please stop phoning me? It's really like, I'm not gonna pick up the call because you phoned me while I'm at work when I asked you not to. And he sends me a voicemail. I don't remember what it was. There's this long ass voicemail basically being like, hi Anna, I hope you're okay. About the rent, about my room, blah 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 blah. Oh, one thing, he always texts about how my Depop and my Vinted is going. And I never replied to them. I haven't replied to a single one of the texts because I'm literally like, why are you asking me that? Came around a few more times to do quote-unquote maintenance work. By the way, for this painting job, which was painting some of the walls, he came around the house like 9 times. The first few times were to check the rooms. Quote-unquote check the rooms. Then he'd be like, I'm doing maintenance work, and the maintenance work would be like gardening. Anyway, yesterday he sends this little message, coming around to do maintenance work. Guess what? He doesn't list what the maintenance work ever is. He doesn't tell us how long he's going to be. He's always here for literally hours. So I ran out the house as usual. But fun fact, this happened yesterday, by the way. Fun fact, my brother came around for a while. He stayed for 3 days, I think. And he ordered me a Ring doorbell because of this guy. And I put it by my door to see the door. This man came into my room while I was gone 5 times and sneaked around my room 5 times. And I have it on video, so I might sue him. And then apparently, let me give you a list so that he writes this little list of like all the stuff he's done. This is the maintenance work he did. He cleaned out the wheelie bin, disinfected it, weeded the front and the back of the house with weed killer, hoovered around the house, sat the clock in the oven, got rid of some black bin bags, sorted out / tidied up the understairs cupboard. And he said he's ran out of time, so he's going to come back on Friday. And I'm sorry, this man thinks, my friend said this man thinks he's James Bond, which was quite funny. This man thinks he's so slick. He literally just is saying he's doing maintenance work just to stalk in people's rooms. And I don't know what he's doing now. But basically, he's coming around Friday. We all kind of want to send him a text being like, why are you coming around for maintenance work when this is stuff we could just do ourselves? Because every time he comes around, I have to like run away because I don't want to see him. But yeah, I feel like I told that story really messily and it's still ongoing, which is a bit scary. But yeah, I'm honestly quite stressed about it, I can't lie. He creeps me out really bad. It's the kind of like stomach churn kind of creep out. He's 51 now. He was 50 when it started. But yeah, hopefully that with that video, like we've spoken to house advisors, we're gonna like give evidence of the amount of times he hasn't come around with notice, the amount of times he's been in people's rooms, like lists of what he's doing, because he's been around the house like 40 times in the past year, and it's genuinely like, I was speaking to my friend about their landlords and they're like, oh, I've only seen my landlord twice, and one of them was like fix the sink and the other one was like to say hello, and that was it. And when they said that was when I was like, oh, unfortunately I see my landlord way more than I would freaking like. But yeah, maybe I'll give a cute little update on how the situation is going. Also, I do want to post more consistently. I know my last video was like 2 weeks ago, just because I've been super busy because I've had to work, and then when I come back it's always dark so I can't film. But what I might do, maybe when I get my money in from work, I'll buy myself like a little ring light or something, or try and change my setup because I know I always film on my bed. But kind of think I might start like filming on my desk. I don't even know. I know I'm missing some things because I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. But basically, need this man to leave me alone and the house alone, and maybe we can sue him and get some money off our rent. By the way, I forgot to say, yesterday when he came round, he caught me. Like I was going outside with our friends and we were like planning to sneak out, and then he was outside doing fucking like gardening. He wasn't gardening because we have like no garden outside. He was just like kind of like standing there. And we were like, oh my god, hello. And it was only after then, about an hour later, because like to my ring ding, did he keep coming in and out my room. And by the way, I know this man has been going in and out and out. It's just like, now I have the evidence, you know what I mean? Also, gonna add in real quick, I think the reason why he likes me so much isn't necessarily because like he's like into me. Well, he kind of is because like a 51-year-old man, like come on now, but like there are other pretty women in my house. I think it's also because like I was way too nice to him at the start. Like I was way too like passive with like his creepiness, so now he like thinks he can get away with it, whereas like with the other girls, they are way more cold to him than I am, whereas like I was pretty like open and like chatty. So kind of needed to put my boundaries from the beginning. So yeah, note to self and others, like if someone's being creepy, you gotta cut it off. You gotta be cold, even if you're like scared of them. Also, the reason why like I'm too scared to like put down my boundaries and be like, you can't do this, like stop coming into our room, stop blah 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 blah, is kind of because he, in a weird way, he does have leverage over me, because he is doing me a favor by letting me split up my rent. So I don't want him to be like, okay, pay me the money then, or be like, but I'm a nice guy, like what I did for you, you know what I mean? So it's a bit difficult because I know he has like a nasty side, like I know he's insane. He's already like shown it like a little bit. I don't want to, you know, be on the wrong side when I'm like living in this property. Like, so everything's a bit like precarious, but hopefully everything turns out fine.